Hey guys, it's Star Girl Stella here again, and I have some breaking news. Beyoncé, the powerhouse singer and trendsetter, has made headlines once again, this time for her bold leap into the hair care sector. While many celebrate her latest entrepreneurial endeavor, others are left wondering, will Beyoncé's venture be a triumph or a flop? Let's get into it. Okay, so I want to talk about Beyonce going into beauty industry real quick. I want to talk about the fact that I've been seeing a lot of videos about people saying that they don't think that when Beyonce goes into hair care that she's gonna do so well because all her other ventures kind of flop. And so I kind of wanted to get into that real quick in a business perspective and not to come against Beyonce because I don't want the beehive coming for me. You feel me? So this one girl gave her perspective on Beyonce going into hair care, and she started relating Beyonce to Rihanna, saying that she thought that Beyonce would have done what Rihanna did with her Fenty Beauty, but she definitely did not. And when I think about it, she's actually right, and let me explain why. The difference between Beyonce and Rihanna, and I'm talking about in the business world, is that Rihanna made herself more relatable. Now, don't get me wrong, Rihanna is just as private as Beyonce, but when it comes to business and it comes to Rihanna getting her bag, better have my money, oh, she's gonna show up. Beyonce is not really gonna show up that much when she drops something, when she has a new brand, when she does a new venture. She's not really gonna show up to the public like how Rihanna does, and that's just a fact. When it comes to Rihanna, I'm pretty sure every other girl has a Rihanna product in their purse, on hand, ready to go, ready to get on their lips. When it comes to Beyonce, you don't really see too many girls having Beyonce products on the go, on ready, like in their purse, in their bag, in their house. You don't really see it like that. Let's keep it a buck. Like when you go to Sephora, when you go to a makeup store, any kind of makeup store, even if you don't go towards the Fenty section, you gonna at least pass by and pick up one or two Fenty lip glosses, and that's really a Fenty fag. Like we just keep it in a buck. But it's so crazy that like I was talking about Ice Spice the other day to one of my friends, and I was saying, oh, you know, when Ice Spice got put on, she did a little brand deal, a little partnership with Ivy Park. Now, like I said, Beehive, don't come for me. I have been in many situations where I've mentioned the brand name Ivy Park and people will literally ask me what's that. Even when I did bring up Ice Spice doing our partnership, whatever it was with Ivy Park, people were asking me, like the people who I was talking to, they were asking me, wait, what's Ivy Park? What's Ivy Park? And that really speaks volumes though. And I had to explain to them what Ivy Park was. Me, it's not even my brand. And this is Beyonce we talking about, the big bad Beyonce. I had to explain to them what her brand is. And you would think that because, you know, she is so well known and everybody knows her, that when she drops something, everybody's going to be jacking it and it's going to be a recognizable brand. Or even if it was a logo, it would be a recognizable logo, but it's really not though. I had to explain to them what Ivy Park was. And I had to come to a realization that when I watched a video where the girl was saying that Rihanna markets herself better than Beyonce in the business world, she is right. Because when Beyonce dropped Ivy Park, she marketed her brand Ivy Park to the celebrities and the influencers. She sent packages, she sent clothes, she sent tops, pants, or whatever the case is, to all the celebrities, had to make videos, all the influencers had to make videos. She didn't market them to the girls. She didn't market her brand to the Beehive. Like I said, there are not many Beyonce products that people could say they have in their household. People might have one or two, but it's not something that it's like you going outside talking about some, yo, I just bought this new Ivy Park, and whoever you talking to coincidentally is like, yo, you too? Like, nah, it's really not like that. Rihanna, on the other hand, when Rihanna dropped her makeup products or whatever the case is, especially when she dropped those lip glosses, I personally, and I know a lot of you can relate to it, have been in many incidents when I pulled out a Fenty Beauty lip gloss and one of my friends were around and seen it and was like, oh, you got that one? Oh, girl, I got the same one. Girl, every time I go to Sephora, every time I go to wherever Fenty Beauty is at, I make sure I rack up about 3 of those. Rihanna's Fenty Beauty brand is so poppin' that I was literally in a situation where I was hanging with one of my friends and she pulled out a Fenty Beauty lip gloss and I had to ask her, like, wait, what's that? She was like, girl, nah, this is the holy grail, you need to smell it. I smelled it. She was like, girl, you need to go to the Fenty store, to the Sephora, and get it before it sells out. Like, Rihanna's brand is so popping that I stay getting put onto her brand. When Rihanna drops whatever product she's selling, whether it's beauty, whether it's skincare, whether whatever the case is, clothes, she's gonna make sure that the pricing is right. She's gonna make sure that it's affordable, that everybody can be able to buy it, or at least you could save up to be able to buy it. A lot of Beyonce's products that she drops and that she sells, they're not really affordable, and I feel like that plays a big role in people not actually buying them. Also, a lot of people don't even be fans of Rihanna for real, but they love her products, they love her businesses, they love her brands. Like every time you see Rihanna pop out, she's always gonna be representing her brand no matter what. She gonna have on the Fenty makeup, she gonna have on the lipstick, she gonna have on the shoes, the hats, the jewelry, whatever the case, she gonna have it on, like, you know what I'm saying? And then when she pops out, she makes sure that she pops out just so that she can represent her brand. Beyonce doesn't really do that like that though. What Beyonce does, I believe, is that I think Beyonce feels like, okay, my audience is so big and the beehive is so big that like I don't really need to do too much work to market my stuff. And I feel like that's where she gets it wrong, because at the end of the day, yeah, you're right, you do have a really huge audience. We not taking that away from you. Like Beyonce says she's having a concert today, that whole place gonna be packed like and filled out. That's no argument. Beyonce is kind of like a girl where, like, you know, she's very like reserved into herself. You'll see her mostly when she goes out in public interacting with other celebrities. You won't really see her interacting with a lot of like common people. And then on top of that, when she's not outside, you don't see her on social media, you don't see her on Instagram, you don't see her doing anything really, so people can't really relate to her because they don't know what she's doing for real, you know? Like, for example, if she drops a hair care product right now, which, you know, she plans on doing, you know, every brand has a story behind them dropping or starting a business. What would be her story? A lot of people would just probably buy because it's Beyonce, but what would be her story? Would she say, oh, you know, I had this situation going on, or I was just sitting down one day and felt like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she probably wouldn't do that, which I feel like maybe she should, because then it will be related. But I think in a business aspect, Beyonce needs to understand that there are girls who are coming up, there are guys who are coming up that did not grow up in the Beyonce era. And I think Rihanna understands that. There are girls coming up that they don't care about Beyonce like that. They care more about Cardi B. They care more about Lotto. They care more about Ice Spice. You know what I'm saying? So if Ice Spice, Cardi B, Lotto were to come out with something, they will be most likely to buy their stuff because that's what they came up on. So I feel like the only thing Beyonce really needs to do if she's going into the hair care sector is she needs to actually be more present, and she needs to market herself in a way where she could be more relatable to not only to her audience but to everybody, you know? Be more present, show up more. Don't just drop something and then go hide away, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but what I'm saying is when it comes to your business, you're gonna have to get out of your comfort zone. Because I feel like after 15 plus years of Beyonce being in the game, she definitely is in her comfort zone right now, and I don't mean that in a negative way at all. And she has every right to. Like, the lady's been working hard her whole life, literally, you know? But what I'm saying is that, you know, when Rihanna, when she wants to market her stuff, she's there, she's present, she's involved, like she's very involved. I don't feel like Beyonce's like super involved. Like, I feel like she's kind of like the mastermind of everything, but I also do feel like she kind of just relies on her audience to market, you know, to basically market her brand for her. And it's like, I don't care how big you get, if you have a brand or if you start a company or whatever the case is, you have to be your biggest cheerleader. You have to be your biggest advocate. You have to be the one to be like, yo, rock my brand, rock, like everywhere you go, rock my brand, which means you have to show up more. Because at the end of the day, I don't care how big, you know, your audience is, nobody's gonna be invested in your brand more than you are. And that's just it, because people are gonna see how you react towards your own product, and they're gonna react the same way. If people see that you're not really jacking your hair business like that, they're gonna jack it the same way how you jacking it. And I feel like that's what it is. Like, because she kind of drops it and goes away, people just kind of buy it and go away. Like, that's just, and things are actually different now. Like, social media plays a big impact in a person's brand nowadays. I could see something today or there could be some big news today, and by next week nobody's gonna remember it, nobody's gonna care about it because there's some other big news that's going on this week. So I feel like, you know, you have to be consistent with it. You can't just drop something and then be like, oh, okay, well, my fans will take care of it. Like, nah, it don't work like that anymore. When Beyonce is not outside, we don't really know what she's up to. So we can't really relate because we don't know what her story is. We don't know what's new with her, you know. And it's not even about T. It's about, who are you now? We know who you were before, but we don't know who you are now because you don't tell us anything about yourself. You don't come outside. We don't see you, like nothing. But enough of me talking. Do you guys think that Beyonce going into hair care is gonna flop? Do you think it's gonna be successful? Do you think that she needs to market herself differently this time for her hair care? What do you guys think?